Nervous faces there down in the Andretti garage. So the safety car's peeled in and Jake Dennis has bolted already. We come around turns 10 and 11 to start the final lap of racing and get the restarts underway here in Sao Paulo. Dennis will lead the field across the line, followed by Roland, followed by Casti. 1 lap to go to crown our winner of the Sao Paulo E-Prix, and Dennis is going for broke. Look at the gap, he's already trying to pull out on Oliver Roland and Nick Casti and the remaining field.
Yeah, great restart from him. He really went early. Question is, they've got to take a flat-out lap. They haven't done this since qualifying, so big pressure on the guys not to outbreak themselves and to get a clean lap here.
Yeah, let's see whether we get any big sends in towards that chicane. Keep an eye out for Pascal Wehrlein in 4th place. He'll be ruining a missed opportunity here, possibly as well, missing out on the podium. De Vries has got that final attack mode, so can he make a good ascension through the field on the last lap of action? Through into the chicane we go. Dennis looks comfortable. He had a second or so in his pocket across the sector times last time around, but nobody was close enough to lunge up the inside into 4.
It does look like it's spread out a little bit here, Tom. I think it's going to be quite difficult for anyone to make a move, but what a great race we've seen, and what amazing racecraft from Roland to get all the way up to 2nd place after that disastrous qualifying.
Absolutely. Well, just 2 more corners to go for Jake Dennis, and what a birthday present this is going to be for Roger Griffiths for the Andretti team. Jake Dennis hasn't won a race since Diriyah back in 2024, but now for the first time in season 12 he will stand on the top step of the podium as Jake Dennis wins the Sao Paulo E-Prix ahead of Oliver Roland and Nick Casti on the podium for Citroën in their first race in the Formula E World Championship, ahead of Pascal Wehrlein and Felipe Drugovich. A double top 5 finish for the Andretti team as the crowd in Sao Paulo celebrate that one.
Wehrlein's got Cassidy, guys. Wehrlein got Cassidy.
He did, right at the end of that one. So it's just updated on our timing screen, or did he? No, it's just turned back round. So Cassidy did finish in 3rd place, ahead of Pascal Wehrlein.
24 seconds left to get this move done for Edo Mortara.
Yeah, out of the final corner of the Peraltada. It's now or never time for Edo Mortara in the challenge for victory. He'll know that. The team radio will have told him that. He needs to get a good run out of turn 16 then, but he's not got it. He's got the slipstream, he's got an advantage in pace, but he's not got the opportunity to attack for the race lead. As we start the final lap, it's advantage Nick Casti as Mortara comes to the end of his attack mode deployment, and likewise Jake Dennis.
This is a brilliant drive from Nick Casti. He's just parking the car on the apexes. He's made it so difficult for anyone to overtake him. I'm sure we're going to see it again here. He's just going to slow down, make himself very wide, and then get a good exit.
Dennis attacking against Oliver Roland there as well, and Barnard's come into the picture here as well. So we've gone from 4 to maybe 5 cars who are squabbling for position. Mortara just looks to be a little bit too far away. You can see him looking in his mirrors. Challenging is Oliver Roland. Defending is Eduardo Mortara. Casti surely is going to have this one sewn up as they squabble for position from behind. Look at the inside line there for Oliver Roland. Can't quite do it. Door gets shut. Dennis looking for a challenge there as well. Barnard, Wehrlein, both in the picture also. We come through to the final corner, and it's going to be a debut victory for Citroën here in Formula E. It's going to be Nick Casti's first win of the season in Mexico City. What a drive and what a performance from 13th on the grid. Nick Casti will come across the line to take the checkered flag and win the Mexico City E-Prix. Eduardo Mortara is 2nd. Oliver Roland is on the podium once again in 3rd position, ahead of Taylor Barnard, Jake Dennis and Pascal Wehrlein, and Pepe Marti in 7th position as well. What a phenomenal drive from the Kiwi. What a great job from the Citroën team to secure their first win in Formula E as well. Coming through in towards the left-hander as we look at Mitch Evans, who is now ending his attack mode and beginning the final lap of racing. What a performance this has been from the Kiwi. And I don't think, unless anything happens to Evans on this last lap, that Muller is going to be anywhere near close enough, because the gap is up to 3.4 seconds at the last time across the line between those 2 drivers. Mortara there in 6th place, DaCosta in 7th. You've got Marti further back there as well, with Jake Dennis on the fringes of it.
Buemi's still got 2 minutes of attack left, so he's not going to be able to use the allotted amount, but with the new regulation, that's fine. Can he pick off DaCosta and maybe Mortara on this final lap?
Meanwhile, Mitch Evans, what a drive this has been from the Jaguar TCS Racing driver, and indeed from the whole team as well. An absolutely perfect call of strategy for the Kiwi. Started the race a bit further down than he would have liked. However, he's made consistent progress from 9th on the grid, and now he will come through into the final corner to take the checkered flag for the first time since Berlin 2025. Jaguar TCS Racing had no points on the board going into this weekend, but they are now winners in Formula E Season 12, as Mitch Evans wins here in Miami ahead of Nico Müller and Pascal Wehrlein. A double podium for the Porsche team. An absolutely phenomenal end to the race there for the German manufacturer in particular. And Joel Eriksson, best of the rest, just off the podium, the rookie in 4th position ahead of the 2 Mahindras. The rest of the drivers coming to the timing line. Buemi, Da Costa, Marti and Dennis completing the points finishers. Rode in 13th, so he has really lost out, but 1 more lap to go. Wehrlein, the gap down to 2.5 seconds between himself and Pascal Wehrlein. Last time around a 1:20.1 for Wehrlein. Mortara a 1:19.2.
Man, the tape is man, it's telling me to lift in the middle of the straight. Man.
So Wehrlein having to really conserve energy. And obviously very unhappy about it. And I wonder whether that's befalling Wehrlein here then. So the gap has come down to 2.5 seconds. I don't think it's going to be too much to worry about in this final lap, but you can see that Mortara visibly is pushing. However, he's coming down to that final percent's worth of energy.
Yeah, I mean, Mortara must be a bit confused in the cockpit as to how that's played out, where Wehrlein's ended up so far ahead. I'm sure all of these other drivers must be wondering, how did Wehrlein end up 7.4 seconds ahead at the end of the cycle? And you know, that's the debrief for later. For now, though, look at this. Final lap, Evans versus Müller.
Yeah, they have to be really conservative on energy here then, aren't they? Because you can see they're coming down to those final sort of 0.5% worth of energy. But Pascal Wehrlein has absolutely commanded this race. From the moment that pit boost strategy worked out for the German driver, it's his 100th start in Formula E, and he exits the final turn here in Jeddah to come to the timing line. And he will take his 9th career victory in Formula E. Pascal Wehrlein wins in Saudi Arabia for Porsche. Eduardo Mortara, 2nd position for the Swiss driver, and Mitch Evans on the podium for a 2nd race in succession. Absolutely phenomenal race, phenomenal drive, phenomenal strategy from Porsche, and it's Pascal who pounces to the checkered flag and takes his 9th win, his 1st of season 12. So how are the podium positions going to shape out in this race? Buemi in 2nd, Roland in 3rd, equal energy there and thereabouts. Mortara in 4th position, Tickton P5, Marti in P6, but now a gap, as you can see, beginning to build out between Roland and Mortara. So I wonder if that is just going to be the sort of breathing space that Roland will need to be able to attack Buemi and not worry about what's happening behind.
Yeah, he's lining it up, isn't he? And Mortara, well, none of them are got advantage over the other in terms of their state of charge.
Roland's got to get a good slipstream. That's what he's got to hope for. I think on the run to 13, he's got to get close enough out of the bus stop to then get a run down to turn 13 and just try a move there. That's his best opportunity against Sebastian Buemi here. So this is it. We're on the run out of 11 down to 13. Can he get the toe?
Yeah,
he has been good there previously, but it looks too far back.
Yeah, he's just a bridge too far, isn't he? Just hasn't got the pace. Buemi's played a blinder in this one in the Envision. It's going to be a Jaguar Power 1-2 finish, seemingly at the end of this race. Coming out of turn 13 we go. Just 2 more chicanes left, and unless Roland dives for a lunge on the inside, I think it's going to be a step too far for him. However, for Antonio Felix da Costa, well, it was a slow start to life at Jaguar, pointless in the first couple of races. He bounced back in Miami, and now he will stand on the top step of the podium for the first time with his new team. Antonio Felix da Costa wins here in Jeddah. It's victory as Dak is back in Formula E. Buemi makes the Jaguar-powered 1-2 as he brings home the Envision in 2nd position. And then it's Roland completing the podium ahead of Eduardo Mortara and the 2 Cupra Giros of Dan Tickton and Pepe Marti. A great result for them. But a phenomenal race from Antonio Felix da Costa and for the Jaguar team. You sense that that first podium was only a matter of time away, and it's the top step on his first visit there with the British outfits.
We're going to get a final lap battle here. Look at this.
What's Ian James going to be thinking right now? Do you say, right, stay there, or is Mitch Evans going to be making a move on his teammate?
1 more lap to go then, a 4-way fight for victory here in Madrid. Da Costa, Evans, Tickton and Wehrlein. Side by side we go, Evans versus Da Costa, down in towards turn 1, the 2 Jaguars duelling for victory.
Okay, just beware, Evans behind is 1% up on you. On the last call.
And that could prove to be the decisive factor then. So Da Costa now is the inside line as we come through into turn 3, as Evans tries to attack, tries to retaliate, tries to find his way through on his teammate, but Da Costa parking that car exactly where the Kiwi doesn't want him to.
Evans has come from 16th on the grid, and he's battling for this victory. Half a lap to go, Tom. This is where we saw Tictum go for the move around the outside. Is he going to be brave enough? Is Evans going to be brave enough into turn 8?
Into the right-hander we go, then again Da Costa defending that line. Evans trying to attack, side by side he goes with his teammate. Can he find his way through? No, not quite. The door's very firmly shut for Da Costa as we come on the run down into the tricky turn 9. There's an opportunity, there's a window on the inside here, maybe for him to have a lunge.
Watch out for turn 12, guys. Watch out, turn 12. Mitch Evans, I guarantee it, he's going to be sending it into the final chicane.
No doubt about it then. So on board we ride with Da Costa. Evans behind, Ticton in 3rd position. Berline keeping a watching brief on proceedings. If they start squabbling, it might open the door here for Tictum. It might open the door for Pascal Berline as well. Out of turn 10 we go. The sweeping right-hander of turn 11 now awaits them as we head into the final chicane. Da Costa leads. Evans goes for the outside. On the inside is Dan Tictum side by side with the Kiwi as they come through into the final chicane. Out of the final corner we go now. Antonio finished. Da Costa wins here in Madrid ahead of Mitch Evans. It's a Jaguar 1-2 and Berline gets onto the podium with 3rd place ahead of Dan Tictum. Right at the checkered flag. What a race, what a start to Formula E here in Madrid. It's a Jaguar 1-2 in Spain.
Stunning from the Jaguar boys. Absolutely
begin the final lap's worth of action here in Berlin. There is Nico Müller in the Porsche across the line. The fans absolutely loving this one as he comes through into turns 1 and 2. And just to finish my thoughts earlier on, you know, obviously Pascal Berline was in a great position at the start of this race, being on the front row of the grid, and we saw the two Porsches dropping back, working together. Obviously that puncture is really what's cost the German driver here, but Müller has picked up the gauntlet very well.
Well, interestingly as well, it was the same tyre that he hit in the wall in qualifying earlier today, so there's something about that side of the cars today.
So this battle for the podium is still not over as Mortara looks to the outside of Oliver Rowland. Is he going to get the switchback on the inside? We're going to come through on the run into turns 9 and 10, the last real overtaking opportunity. And Rowland defends the line here against Eduardo Mortara. He'll try and switch it back, but there's no room. Rowland defends, holds the line on the inside as we see Nico Müller coming through into the final series of corners on his 69th attempt. He will become a race winner in Formula E in front of Porsche's home crowd here. Nico Müller exits the final corner, blasts to the checkered flag here in Berlin and wins the E-Prix. Absolutely superlative drive from Nico Müller. Nick Cassidy in 2nd, and Rowland does hold on for the final podium place against Eduardo Mortara in 3rd position as well. Delight for the Porsche team. The Pink Pigs pounce to the checkered flag as they take victory here on home soil. What a race, what a drive from Nico Müller, and he finally gets his first win in the championship. Rowland is going to have to try and invent something here to close that deficit down to Mitch Evans as we begin the final lap of action here in Berlin. It's Evans, Rowland and Berline. Keep an eye out as well for the envision of Sebastian Buemi. He's up there in 4th position. Could he be a threat for the podium with less than 2 kilometres to go now?
I think the race is pretty much locked and flat out. The only question obviously remains is what happens with that yellow flag, but Evans has driven a brilliant race, hasn't he?
Yeah, superb stuff from Mitch Evans. It doesn't seem to matter where he starts in races like this. He always seems to come through and come out smelling of roses, and that is exactly what he's going to be set to do here in the Jaguar TCS racing machine. Saved a lot of energy in the opening stages of the race, and it proved to pay dividends for him as he now leads coming out of the run from turn 10 and into the triple apex left-hander. Rowland there in 2nd, Berline in 3rd position, which will be another podium for Porsche on home soil. But what a drive it has been for Mitch Evans as he comes around the final corner here in Berlin and takes his way to the checkered flag. Mitch Evans will take victory in Berlin here for Jaguar TCS Racing in front of Oliver Rowland and Pascal Berline. 2 podiums in 2 days for Rowland. Berline gets onto the podium for Porsche after being pointless here 24 hours ago. A great drive from Sebastian Buemi as well as Norman Nato inside the top 5. But James, let's go and talk to Mitch Evans, the race winner here in Berlin.
Full course zero ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag, please.
So the full course yellow then does come to an end. So De Vries will lead from Mitch Evans. Dan Tickton there in third position, but he's under investigation after that crash with Antonio Felix da Costa. And now De Vries has got 3.6 seconds over Mitch Evans as we blast through the tunnel for the final time. This is Christmas come early for the Mahindra team, with his teammate there, Eduardo Mortara, albeit out of position, directly behind him on the road.
Yeah, apologies, it wasn't 21 seconds. It's because of the full course yellow. The timings were a bit off. So we'll wait to see what happens at the end. The actual gap is 9 seconds. If you look at the timing tower on the left.
Well, pensive faces in the Mahindra garage, and no surprise at all. They have not won a race since 2021 when Alex Lynn took victory in London, but now they are going to stand on the top step of the podium for the very first time in the Gen 3 era, and it will be Nick De Vries who comes around the final corner, and he will be the master of Monaco as Nick De Vries takes victory here on the streets of Monte Carlo. He takes the checkered flag, he takes Mahindra's first win in nearly 5 years. Mitch Evans will come over the line in second position, and Dan Tickton will finish third on the road, but he's under investigation, as we know from race direction. He comes over the line meanwhile to take P3. His teammate Pepe Marti will be some 8 seconds down the road. We'll wait and see how it all works out in terms of that podium battle, with Drugovic completing the top 5. But for Mahindra, what a fight back they have put through in the Gen 3 era after the disappointment of a couple of years ago, and now they are winners again, finally, in Formula E and on the fabled streets here in the Principality of Monaco. Now the tables have turned some 27 laps later. We begin the final lap though with Oliver Rowland leading from Eduardo Mortara and Felipe Drugovic. Again, a reminder that 10-second time penalty that Eduardo Mortara will have to serve at the moment. It's just sparing the blushes here and any attack on Oliver Rowland for now.
So Mortara will end up, what, somewhere around Evans. He's basically battling Evans, isn't he, for 5th place. That's where he's, if he gets a hurry on a little bit, he might end up ahead of Evans. At the moment, the gap between them is 10.1, so he could end up a 10th ahead of Evans, or not, on this final lap. This is a big lap here in terms of just that gap to Mitch Evans.
Günther's under investigation for overspeeding under the safety car, as if we need more penalties and twists and tails in this one. That, again, normally a slam dunker. Could be a 5-second penalty awarded there to Max Günther, which would drop both of Deers Penske drivers now out of the points.
So on the left, you can see Mortara's got less energy than Evans. So on this final lap, Evans can push on a bit more and just try and make sure he's within 10 seconds. That's the gap to watch. I think Rowland is pretty safe here because he's got that buffer, as we said, of Edo Mortara. Unbelievable drive from Oliver Rowland. Similar to last year, Tom, where he saved the attack mode for the key moment, saved the energy, and he's on his way.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Oliver Rowland. Then the reigning world champion is going to take his first victory of the 2026 Formula E season. It'll be his second here in the Principality of Monaco as well. What a drive from the Nissan man as he comes across the line to take the checkered flag, and his second win in Monaco. Oliver Rowland takes victory ahead of Felipe Drugovic and Antonio Felix da Costa. That 10-second time penalty for Eduardo Mortara is going to work out, meaning that he finishes in P5 just behind Mitch Evans. Despite finishing P2 on the road. Then it's going to be Jake Dennis, Nico Muller, Joel Eriksson, Nick De Vries and Lucas de Grassi, who sneaks into the top 10 after Günther's penalty has all worked out. But it has been a really tricky weekend for the Nissan team. They struggled with pace in the race yesterday, and they've turned their fortunes around here this afternoon with a win. Karun, let's talk to him. This battle for 4th place is effectively now the battle for the final rostrum. Rowland off at turn 4. I thought I saw a car going straight off into the distance, into the wall there as well for Da Costa. He had a tap on the edge of the barrier. Rowland's into the wall in a big wake. If he can't get that car going, that could neutralise the race and could bring an end to any overtaking here for this one, because he's muscled in the Tech Pro barrier on the outside, as we see Marty challenging against Nick De Vries and going through for 4th place, which is effectively the final podium position, as he's late on the brakes there against Felipe Drugovic, trying to challenge for that 2nd place, but nothing doing for him then here.
This is a brilliant drive from Pepe Marti. Let's not forget, his car was so badly damaged. He restarted last with the 17 laps to go. Yeah, this is
race. A remarkable recovery then it has been for Pepe Marti. A podium is within his reach. Da Costa with that 5-second penalty, so one more lap to go. Full course yellow though.
Full course yellow, please.
So that neutralises the race as it stands for now. If they can get that car recovered, we might get a bit of green flag running towards the end of this final lap, but it would be a big shame to finish it under full course yellow conditions.
There might be 3 Porsche powertrains on the podium and none of them are factory Porsche.
Let's look at what happened then to Oliver Rowland. We're down into turn 4. Oh, he just made a mistake. He was just too hot into there, was he? Or was it a technical problem?
He got hit. He got hit from behind.
Did he?
There was a Porsche behind.
Well, I don't know. I saw the external angle there. I'd love to see that again. Let's find out.
1, green flag.
Right, so we do get 2 corners of green flag running right to the end of this race, which means we'll go over the line at full speed, if nothing else. But I think any challenges for position are probably going to amount to nothing. Jake Dennis, though, meanwhile, has had an absolute stonker of things as we come through into the final series of corners. The checkered flag will be awaiting them then as we come across the line to take it. Jake Dennis will win his 2nd race of the season for the Andretti team. Drugovic over the line in P2 to make it an Andretti 1-2 finish here on the streets of Sanya. Pepe Marti onto the podium for a 2nd successive race in Formula E as well. Right, across the line we go then to begin the final lap of racing here in Shanghai. It's been an energetic and a frenetic one, and it's Pascal Wehrlein that leads from Antonio Felix da Costa by 2.2 seconds, and look at what it means in the championship. 19 points was the advantage for Mitch Evans going into this weekend. It'll be reduced down to just 3 after 1 of 2 races.
And Pascal will have gained, what, 27?
Yeah.
Or 24?
Something like that. It's quite a few.
Anyway, Florian looked happy.
Yeah. There's 26 points. He'll gain 26, won't he, if he takes the win. And fastest lap possibly as well. So anyway, we'll do
a lot of points. Anyway, brilliant drive by Pascal. Absolutely walked away from the field.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal from Pascal Wehrlein, and also here from Antonio Felix da Costa, and from one side of the Jaguar garage. And we heard Mitch Evans on the other side of it complaining, wasn't happy with the balance of the car from the start of the race, really, and it's not worked out to be a happy hunting ground for the Jaguar TCS racing driver. But for Pascal Wehrlein, he is going to come through to take victory here for the Porsche team. What a phenomenal drive from the Season 10 world champion on his 108th start. He will take his 10th career victory in Formula E. It'll close the gap down in the championship to just 3 points. It'll also close Porsche's gap down in the team's championship. Out of the final corner we go, and Pascal Wehrlein wins here in Shanghai for Porsche. A phenomenal drive from the German. He leads home his former teammate Antonio Felix da Costa, with Jake Dennis over the line in P3 to make it a double Porsche powertrains rostrum here in China as well. De Vries over the line in 5th place ahead of Byrne, and a brilliant end to the race, especially for Joel Eriksson, Evans, Gunther and Eduardo Mortara completing the top 10.
Already a 2-time champion in the series, all over the back of someone yet to secure their first victory.
He's eroded that gap already over the course of 1 lap then. Right then, 2 to go here at Shanghai, and 3 drivers dueling for victory. Eriksson chasing his first, Byrne chasing his win for the first time since Hyderabad 2023, and De Grassi for his first win since 2022. He's never won a race in the Gen 3 era, and it's nose to tail between the Envision, the Citroen and the Lola Yamaha Apps. What an end to the race we are expecting to have then. Team radio for De Grassi as Byrne looks to the outside.
To avoid massively to run
Byrne looking to challenge down into turn 6. De Grassi's there on the inside and he gets through for 2nd place. Byrne though finds the door, finds the gap on the inside and goes through for the lead as we come on the exit of turn 6. Jean-Eric Byrne leads the way, and De Grassi through on the inside of Joel Eriksson as well.
This is brilliant racing. I can't believe we're seeing these 2 great champions now fighting for victory here, having spoken to them right at the back of the grid.
2 of the most experienced drivers in Formula E. Byrne has been here very much since the beginning, not quite the first race, but ever since then he's gone on, of course, to become a double world champion in Formula E. Lucas Di Grassi, of course, he's a world champion as well, and he's retiring from Formula E at the end of this season. 1 more lap to go here at Shanghai in the battle for victory as Byrne leads the way over the line, but here comes Lucas Di Grassi attacking for the race lead and going through down at turn 1. Lucas Di Grassi leads for Lola Yamaha out here in Shanghai. Can Byrne retaliate? Up the inside he looks into turn 2, but the gap's closed. De Grassi has it hold off as we come down into the left-hander, and surely if De Grassi's got more grip, he's got more traction, he's got more power, if he can hold on, then he'll be taking victory here.
Yeah, so much respect between these 2 great champions. But the attack mode is so crucial, so powerful. Lola Yamaha Apps are on the verge of their first ever victory in Formula E.
Well, what a turn up for the books this has been. If you'd had a fiver on this before the start of the race, you'd be walking away from the bookies a very happy person indeed. 1 minute and 10 seconds left of attack mode, but De Grassi can buy his way through the next series of corners and just not worry too much about any attack, any retaliation from Jean-Eric Byrne from behind. Byrne under investigation as well for overtaking under a double yellow wave flag. So there could be another twist and in the tail for this one, but as we come through into the final series of corners, can you believe how this race has worked out? We've got Lucas Di Grassi out of the final corner, a winner in Formula E again for Lola Yamaha Abt. He takes his first victory since 2022, Lola's first win in the championship, to the delight of the team, as Verne comes over the line in second, and Joel Eriksson on his debut podium as well for the Envision team. An absolutely sensational end to the race, a brilliant strategy, an incredible result for that team and for the driver, and it's not over further down as well, as Ticktum gets the final point from Maximilian Günther at the checkered flag. What a race here in Shanghai.
Use pit boost and then his attack mode. We got Ticktum, who went for the undercut strategy and made that one work, so it's really fascinating how it's played out.
2.5 kilometres to go then here. Dennis, Ticktum close to one another, as they have been throughout the entirety of this one. Keep an eye out though for Barnard, because he might be vulnerable to the advances of Mitch Evans, and you can see the Drivers' Championship as it stands for now.
Yeah, we copy your message, but yeah, we let the position hold only if there's a big mistake.
Cassidy has closed right up onto the back of the likes of Dennis and Ticktum here then on the start of this final lap. Could he be in with a shoe in for victory? It's so difficult to overtake though here in Tokyo.
It's fascinating because this isn't on energy. He's on the same energy as the guys in front of him. This is purely on performance, where we've got these slightly tricky conditions. So Nick Cassidy clearly finding some grip out there that Ticktum and Dennis can't find. And is that going to pay off for him?
Cassidy was a second faster than Ticktum and Dennis last time around as well. The problem is we're coming in towards turn 15. We've only got a couple of corners now remaining. It's nose to tail between the top three. Dennis, Ticktum and Cassidy is how it sits on the podium. But will that be the position? Here comes Dan Ticktum on the inside through into turn 16 to take the lead against Jake Dennis, down into the final couple of corners. The most dramatic of circumstances as Dan Ticktum exits out the final turn to win here in Tokyo from Jake Dennis and Nick Cassidy on the podium. Well, the team radio message to the end of that race said that he wasn't going to attack. He struck his way through on the inside. And now Dan Ticktum comes through and he's a double winner in Formula E. As it stands for now. Right then, safety car peels off into the pit lane. De Vries becomes the pace setter. He's picked the go point before the final chicane. Out of the final turn, we're about to go. It's a one-lap sprint to the checkered flag here in Tokyo. De Vries leads them across the line, followed by Cassidy, followed by Jake Dennis. Down in towards the first corner we go. Can anybody think about sending it through on the inside? No, they're too far away. As it stands for now, De Vries holds firm at the sharp end of this one, followed by Cassidy, Dennis, Rowland, and then John Verne completing your top five.
There's no doubt Jake Dennis has got confidence in that car. He was flying at the time the red flag came out, and he looks like he's the closer to Cassidy than Cassidy is to De Vries. De Vries looks like he's just got a bit of an edge now, although it's starting to close up through 7 and 8. It's tight. It's really tight out there.
Cassidy could be tight on energy here. Dennis has got more than him. I think it should be okay for Cass, but it could be tight at the end.
Through the right-hander of turn 9 we go, down in towards the chicane of turns 10 and 11, and De Vries is absolutely bolted for this one. He's just off of any immediate pressure from behind from Cassidy and Dennis. So your top three line astern, and it's exactly what we saw in Sao Paulo at the start of the season. It's so difficult. Verne, meanwhile, is trying to put the pressure here on Oliver Rowland as they come through in towards that series of corners. Verne looking for the attack here on Rowland, looking to get through into 4th place, but not quite able to find his way through. Into turn 16 we go. Dennis looks for the inside line there on Nick Cassidy. Can't quite do it though. Behind you've got Verne and Rowland, but Rowland is absolutely critical on energy in 4th place. That might leave him vulnerable to Verne. Out of the final corner we go now. It's a second win of the season for Nick De Vries here in Tokyo as Cassidy comes over the line in second. Dennis holds on to 3rd place, and Rowland, did he hold on to 4th against John Verne? He did, by just under 3/10 of a second. Nato inside the top 6, a double-point score for the Nissan team ahead of Buemi, Muller, Barnard, and then Günther completing the top 10. And it's now Mahindra, 2 wins in a season here in Formula E, and a second successive podium for Nick Cassidy and for the Citroën team after the most challenging of weeks for that outfit after the loss of their leader Cyril Blaze. But see whether there's anything more to come for that one. Rowland's in 10th place, by the way. He's got into his attack mode, but he's about 5 seconds or so off the back of Nick Cassidy. So, again, his championship challenge, his challenge rather, I should say, for any more points may stall, along with his championship challenge going into Sunday here as well, because P10 is probably going to be the best that the reigning champion will be able to hope for. And you can see their confirmation of the point standings, if it finishes as it is for now, be 5 points between between Pascal Wehrlein and Jake Dennis. Mitch Evans dropping down into 3rd place, as you said, 21 points away, Karun.
Yeah, and that now rules out. We came into today with 9 drivers in mathematical contention for the championship, but this is now ruled out. Well, all but the top 3.
Yeah.
So 6 of them now cannot win it. But this guy, Tom, is on his way to winning today.
What a sensational job from Pascal Wehrlein and from the Porsche team. They got themselves onto pole position, bagged 3 points, and now he will take the championship lead into Sunday as he wins here in London. Pascal Wehrlein takes his 3rd victory of the season at the most critical juncture in the championship, ahead of Jake Dennis for Andretti, who limits the damage after all is said and done. Da Costa is going to hold on to 3rd place with Buemi just holding off the challenge of Mortara and Barnard seemingly through the final couple of corners. There's Da Costa over the line in P3. Buemi ahead of Mortara, Taylor Barnard, and then Dan Tickton will limp home a distant 7th place ahead of Mitch Evans there as well. Cassidy and Rowland will complete the points finishers once all is said and done. But for Pascal Wehrlein, win number 3 of the season after pole position here this morning, and now the lead of the championship into the final day of the season. Absolutely, over the line we go then to begin the final lap of 2026 of Gen 3 in Formula E. A reminder that Jaguar leading the team's championship. They will be taking the team's championship if it finishes as it is, with Mitch Evans in P4. Da Costa's out of the points, but crucially, so are both of the Porsches, and De Vries is now all over the back of Taylor Barnard once again. So is he going to go for a Hail Mary, a move on this final lap to challenge for the last win in Gen 3 of Formula E here in London? Through in towards turn 9 we go. Barnard is going to have to defend unless he can get a great exit out of it, and De Vries isn't close enough to attack here, DC.
Yeah, well, you never know whether he might try and send it in 16.
Through the custom house chicane we go for the final time. Nose to tail in the battle for victory then. Barnard, who has had a torrid season by his standards, moved over to the DS Penske team, and unfortunately for him it's not really worked out. However, in the final race of the year, it is all coming good for the Briton. He will become the youngest ever winner in Formula E history as he exits through into the final series of corners.
Look at him, still wants to fight. What an idiot, this guy. So loser.
Taylor Barnard will make history as he takes the checkered flag and the win for DS Penske here at the last race at the XL in London. De Vries over the line in 2nd, and Mortara will bag the final podium place in 3rd position. There's nose-to-tail battles further down the order in the top 10, but where is Pascal Wehrlein? He's going to finish outside of the points, but crucially, it will be enough for him to be crowned as the champion of season 12. But when he arrived in Formula E, no one was quite sure what to expect, and he had to establish himself in this championship. He did that back in season 10 as he romped to his first title, and this season he has been asked some serious questions, yet he has always managed to find an answer as he has contact there with Da Costa into the final series of corners, but he will exit out of the final turn here in London to become a 2-time Formula E World Champion. Pascal Wehrlein is the 2026 title winner in Formula E, to the delight of the Porsche team. They miss out on the team's title, but they win the driver's title in the most dramatic of circumstances with a nail-bite again to that race.